Wow, wow, wee wah. Steven Crowder drops some absolute bombshells, including receipts on a big conservative. Now, he doesn't actually say who it is, and I don't have any inside information that would imply specifically who it might be. I think people are making their guesses, people are making their estimates. There's only a few possible outlets that he could possibly be talking about. And I think that people are going to make their decisions based on that. I also want to talk about, I have been talking directly with Steven for several weeks about working with him directly on a new project sometime probably a little bit later this year, a couple months from now, is something that I'm actively developing, actively working on, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And I'm excited to tell you about it a little bit later. I want to get right into the potential contract, or the receipts that he shared, and talk about why they're important, because it really does show whoever's contract this is, somebody in big conservative. I can speculate who it might be, but that they really are in lockstep with Susan Wojcicki, big tech, what topics you can, what topics you can't talk about. And the way that they enforce those very same rules are by penalizing their actual employees if they get out of line with the same set of standards and rules that apply to, that are a direct, transparent pass-through of rules from Twitter and YouTube. And it's not shocking at all to me, but what's interesting is the receipts. And I want to say that, regardless of whether or not Steven and I get, work together on something, whether or not that goes through, he still has my sword on this 100%. I've talked to creators in this space, conservative creators who have signed very similar contracts. So, this particular wording does not surprise me whatsoever. Merch rights. The company will maintain exclusive rights to create and sell, this is their contract they offered him clearly, to sell Crowder and Crowder content branded merchandise. All remuneration for the blank and exploitation of these rights is included in the fee, meaning the company owns all of his merch. Email list. The company will maintain exclusive rights to manage, grow, and monetize all Crowder mailing lists during the term. All remuneration, blah, blah, blah. Meaning they pay him with some sort of sum of money, but in exchange for that, they own his merch, they own his email list, and also social media management. The company will have exclusive rights to manage, curate, and monetize Crowder's official Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Snapchat, Rumble, and other social media accounts, excluding Crowder's existing personal Twitter and Instagram accounts during the term. Additionally, the company will have perpetual and exclusive rights to create, own, manage, and curate and monetize any and all social media accounts on any social media or similar platform. Insane contract. But it gets way worse, because this is where it gets really nefarious. In another section of the contract, fee reductions. Now, these are penalties for existing employees of the company. And these are, presumably some of these conservative talking heads. Again, if you look at what, the size of the company that would be required to hire Crowder, I think you can probably figure out who this is. I feel pretty confident, but I can't be 100% sure. Daily content. If Crowder fails for any reason to deliver 192 episodes of The Daily Show, including any and all ad reads and promo reads, approved and deemed satisfactory by the company, a $100,000 reduction penalty. For clarity, anytime Crowder misses a single episode of daily content without written approval from the company, the fee will be reduced by $100,000. You miss one day of work, $100,000 penalty. Now, I'm sure this scales down to your normal, content creators. I don't think your average contributor at the Daily Wire or Blaze or any of these companies, are making this kind of money. But again, if Crowder fails to deliver monthly content in any month or any quarter, including any and all ad reads, the fee is $250,000. Absolutely insane. But here is where the real proof is in the pudding. The real proof that these conservative news outlets essentially are in lockstep with big tech. And it's how they penalize their particular employees. And by the way, great time to remind you, coffeebrandcoffee.com that's why I talk about it so much. It's my company. It goes directly to supporting the channel. We've got about 175 of the peppermint hot cocos left, and they're on sale, big sale, 25% off on that. We've got a dozen organic teas that people absolutely love. We've got all types of coffee. Our coffee is fresh roasted on demand. So it's not sitting. It's as fresh as you're going to get. And we've got delicious teas. Please make today the day that you consider going to coffeebrandcoffee.com using promo code TheQuartering. You can save. Don't believe me? Just check out the reviews. You can see all of these customer reviews from clearly people who purchased the item. You don't have to take my word for it. It's not just supporting the channel. It's also getting high quality coffee, tea, or cocoa that also supports the channel. Might I suggest our cold brew, our blueberry cobbler, our dark roast. I mean, really, it's all good. I drink it every day. So, it's all good. Now, boycotts work and will punish them for you. Reduction of fee from lost revenue from boycotts, content strikes, or from bans on major social media platforms. The only reason any individual content creator should be signing with these big companies is if they are weak and they think that they need this protection. Maybe they're not in the financial space to support themselves, to take the risk of individual content creators. I mean, weak in a position financially. They're worried about that. But these companies don't even protect you. If you get a penalty from YouTube or Apple or Facebook, this particular big conservative company TM, just penalizes you and tells the left that boycotts work. If Crowder is boycotted or dropped by more than 50% of his existing advertising partners, the company is not able to replace him within 90 days, then the fee will be reduced by 25% until such a time the ad revenue has been restored for a period of 90 days. To cut his pay 25%. Content strike. If any of the major platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, issues a content strike, such as that Crowder content cannot be monetized on such a platform, the company will not be able to resolve the issue within 90 days. Then the fee will be reduced by another 25%. So right now there's a 50% cut in pay if you get a strike. How do we get strikes? Well, we push against the status quo. There isn't anybody out there in this space that's more careful than I am in terms of the words that I use on this platform. And even that has been nearly impossible to avoid the ire of various content strikes on various platforms. What this company is saying, big conservative, is that we are enforcing YouTube's rules on our content creators. That we are not allowing our content creators to speak against the status quo. And if they do, we will penalize them up to 50% of their pay. So what content creator is going to do that? This is no different than, for example, if you used a company like Daily Wire, for example, just working directly with Susan Wojcicki. By the way, if the Crowder content cannot be released on any of the major platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Apple, whatever, because of Crowder or his content is banned from those platforms, the fee will be reduced by 20% on YouTube, another 20% if Apple, 10% if Facebook, 10% if Spotify, another 50%. A YouTube strike could potentially, if I'm doing this math right, cost the guy 70% of his pay. Why on earth would anybody sign with these companies? You're not getting any protection. That's the only reason you would sign with them, right? You sign with them as a big network, and you're hoping, hey, it's whatever, you know, The Blaze, or it's Daily Wire, or it's Turning Point, or whatever. Hopefully, you know, I'm not just one individual content creator with 200,000 subscribers, and I have, you know, the network of other creators that might be in the many millions. And maybe I can reach out to YouTube, and nope, they don't care. Not only do they not care, they are personally penalizing you financially if that were ever to happen. Now, you could make the argument, understandably so, that, hey, if you catch a strike, you know, you're not making the company any money. But yet, that's the point. That's the only reason you would sign with one of these companies. So not only do they own, and by the way, going back to the beginning of this, they own your likeness, they own your merch, they own your email list, they own your social media channels. They take zero risk, okay? And they take over everything. And they force you to do innumerable ad reads. And if you don't do those ad reads, you get penalized. And if the left gets up in a tizzy that you made some comment, and they get to one of your sponsors, they penalize you for that. So why do you think all the content from Big Conservative seems to sound the same? Seems to all be the same. It's because they're all following the same rules. They're in bed with big tech. This much is absolutely obvious. And you should be thinking about some of these big companies and ask yourself, is this the big con he's talking about? He also did a website, stopbigcon.com, for people to sign up on. I think this is how he's going to contact people when his new project launches. Obviously, I've signed up for that myself. But also, make sure you check out coffeebrandcoffee.com. And, you know, obviously, Steven Crowder, you have my sword. I will help as much as I can. You know, I'm happy to work with you to produce some unique content, or to, you know, whatever he needs. I'm happy. I feel like I've proven that. I'm happy to help. And this is going to be interesting to see the follow from. Make sure you leave a like on this video. And if you haven't yet and you don't want to miss a video, click that subscribe button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.